Welcome, everybody, to our Monday night call. And it's my absolute pleasure to be able to congratulate you for the good sense to be on tonight with our special guest, Kristine's call tonight. It's going to be high energy. It's going to be amazing. But before we get started, by a show of hands, I'm curious, who here knows Kristine Drummond? Who here knows her? Come on, hands up. I can even see the people that aren't showing their faces have their hands up. All right. Cool. So what I'd like you to do is in the chat below, please, in one or two words, describe what Kristine means to you, or just go for it. Let's get the chat lit up, because Kristine is the definition of a leader. She shows up. She always leads from the front, and if you ever need backup, Kristine is there. If you ever need a friend, Kristine is there. If you ever need a kick up the bum, Kristine is there. If you ever need a weight suit while you're running up a freaking flight of stairs, Kristine is there. So Kristine wants us to win, sometimes even more than we even realise we want to win ourselves. She sees only the unlimited potential in each of us and doesn't see the often limiting belief version with all the story that we have in our own mind. And what she does is she holds a safe space for us until we can see our unlimited potential too. She's also the head detective and head police officer of the negativity police in our group. So if you ever see any negative criminals around in our group, watch out, they're just about to get arrested and marched off to negativity prison by Kristine. She's out loud and proud about the industry she loves, and she's the mum of two amazing kids and partner to Tom. She's a six-figure earner in her company, and she has a freaking 1,000-year plan. So if that hasn't electrified you enough, wait till the rest of this call happens, because you're going to be on fire. So Kristine, take yourself off mute and take it away.
Oh my gosh, Joel, what an introduction. I literally am welling up with tears, quickly seeing all those messages come in. Thank you so much. I have been in the biggest funk lately, and that has absolutely ripped me out. So thank you so, so much. For those that don't know me, I am Kristine Drummond, and I have been with this, or in this amazing profession it's coming up to 7 years. It really doesn't feel like that, but time flies when you're having fun. And I just want to really go back and share my story, because quite a few of you probably wouldn't know much about me and where I started. Some of you are new to the business and have just come in on, my chapter 7 basically. And when I grew up in the country. We moved around a few times when I was growing up, and I always had this strange feeling that I was meant to do something with my life. I knew that there was something special about me. I just wanted to help people. I've always been that person that's got your back. And I just love people. I love people. I love meeting people. I will talk to a stranger. I have no qualms in that. I absolutely just love finding out about people's backgrounds and where they're from, and all that kind of stuff. So from a very young age, I always just wanted to do something really special with my life, but I didn't know what it was. And if I could just get everyone to pop themselves on mute, that would be amazing. Thank you. So growing up, I wanted to be a PE teacher. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to educate kids around the importance of fitness. I loved sport. I played every single sport I could, because it meant days off school. So we played AFL, we played soccer, we played basketball, we played cricket, and we got to travel for all these sports. So, I only pretty much went to school for half the year, which is probably why my results were so shocking. I loved being school captain. I was school captain in primary school. I was school captain in high school as well. But there was kind of things happening in the background that I wasn't sure how to handle. And I haven't shared this story, I don't think, before. But from about the age of 4, I was sexually assaulted. And it was by a guy that was living with my nan. And, it was such a taboo thing that no one ever spoke about what was going on, you know. And I've recently found out, you know, some stuff, and, you know, he wasn't just sexually assaulting me, but basically he went through all my female cousins as well. And they've been, I don't think they've dealt with it where I'm at a place now where I come from gratitude, and I wouldn't change it at all. But this continued from age 4 right through to about age 16, where I started to grow some balls and really stand up for myself and didn't put up with it anymore. And, you know, he passed away sort of in my mid-20s. So, you know, I got to go and spit on his grave, basically. But the reason why I'm telling you this is not for your sympathy, but to show and to demonstrate that everyone's got their shit, everyone's got their baggage, everyone's got stuff that, you know, that has happened to them or that is happening to them. And it doesn't have to define you. Your past definitely doesn't have to define you. And you can come out of those situations. And I really am grateful that that happened to me, because I had to draw on traits that have made me a better human being. I have drawn on traits that have made me a better mum because of it. And I've drawn on traits that have transferred into this business, into this profession, that have allowed me to be a better leader, that have allowed me to be stronger, be more courageous, be bolder, you know. And I really am so grateful for that journey and that experience. And when you can get to that place of gratitude and you know, move forward with your life, you just feel so free. You feel so flippin' free. And if you can overcome something like that, then I'm like, bring it on. Like, what else you got? Because that is not going to hold me back in anything. You know, I'm not going to let this predator have control or power over my life anymore. So it's basically a decision, a few tears to, you know, shift this. But moving forward from that, I really learned how to be independent. I learned how to be resourceful, and I never needed a man in my life to take care of me, you know. And I was really good at relationships, and I was very good at reading people, especially people's eyes. And it's really been amazing for this profession, some of those skills. So moving forward, I didn't become a PT teacher because I really hated studying. I hated going to school. I loved the social side, and I think that's why people, you know, nominated me to be school captain, because I just loved being everybody's friend. And I'm quite bossy, so I think that's another reason why I got the job. So after I left school, I wanted to leave my parents as quickly as I could. So I left Cootamundra, moved to Canberra, and I started getting a diploma in hospitality, because I wanted to be the big hotel manager of like the Hilton, you know, like be right up the top of one of those high rises, you know, just owning it and running the show. That didn't work out, but I went into hospitality and I loved it. I loved the vibe. I loved the people side. I loved meeting new people every day at a different function, or people coming in and, you know, being seated at my tables. And then from there, as I got a little bit older, I started to think, you know what, this actually sucks, because whenever I had time off, all my friends are at work, and whenever they had time off, I was working. I had to work every Christmas, every New Year's, including the millennial year, you know, when 2000 ticked over and we all thought this big bug was going to take us down. I worked that. I remember in Canberra, and I remember the fireworks going off and everyone pausing, waiting for the whole system to shut down. You know, I did that, and it took its toll on me, on my health and on my relationships. And then from there, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go to uni. That's what I was taught. That was my backup plan. That's what my parents kept drilling into me. Go to university, go get a degree, go get a qualification, and then maybe you can get a secure job. So I went and got a HR degree. I was about 23. I finished when I was about 26, and got a job in HR. And then stress levels just went up from there. You know, I got in the corporate world. I worked my way up really quickly. I got transported from Wagga to Adelaide. I got to do a director's course as well, so I could learn how to become a director with that company. You know, they provided a lot of experience and opportunity for me, but I got to work with the board of directors and the executive team, and I got to see how these people ran these companies and backstabbed each other. And, you know, it was so negative. It literally destroyed my soul. And my boss, one of my bosses, was absolutely amazing. And he used to say to me, Kristine, smile, just smile. And I was just so stressed and beaten. I was exhausted. My health was shit. I remember at the time I was married and we were trying for 7 years to have a baby. And all the doctors kept saying to me was, Kristine, we had a miscarriage in there, so there was hope, you know. But the doctors kept saying, you've got to stop stressing so much. You've got to stop exercising. And that was the 2 bits of advice that they had for me. Now, when I can't imagine you worn out and stressed. Yeah, I know, I've come a long way. So that was a really challenging time for me. I was on call 24/7 to my boss. They eventually, my good boss left, he retired, and I had to go under this other one, and they put me in a research role. It was so boring. It was so mentally draining that I thought, you know, what can I do with my career? This is just not lighting me up. I'm a shell of the person I was. Went through the whole IVF, couldn't fall pregnant. At the time I went through my IVF, my mum was going through breast cancer, a really aggressive breast cancer, and the doctors wouldn't let me travel to go and be with her. And it absolutely broke my heart not to be there for my mum during her toughest time. And I'm telling you this because it was a defining moment, guys. And this is why I do what I do. Because not one doctor spoke to either me or my mum about nutrition. Not one of them asked us what were we putting in our bodies. And what I was putting in my body was packets of chips, hot chips, chocolate. I was eating a block of chocolate a day. I was drinking. I was binge drinking like a trooper on weekends. And it was because I was in a relationship where I was content. I wasn't happy, so I was numbing myself in any way that I could. And it wasn't until I moved to the Gold Coast for an opportunity to change my lifestyle, an opportunity to give my marriage another chance. But when I got here, the flame had gone out, you know, and it was my fault. I take full responsibility, but I knew that it was over. And so then I went through the divorce. Then I went through being really broke, living on 2-minute noodles. I was living on mashed potato. There wasn't anything green going in my body. There was no fruits, no vegetables, because I just couldn't afford it. I didn't have a credit card, but all my accounts, I had 3 accounts, they were all in minus. I couldn't withdraw any money to do anything. I was a PT at the time, so I had to keep rocking up as this inspiring, motivational person. But behind the scenes, I was so broke. I was broke. My spirit was broken, everything. And I just thought, shit, I've been working from the age of 12. Here I am at 30 years of age, and I have not 1 cent to my name. Everything from my marriage, that when I got divorced, it all went back into my PT business. And I remember my body just shut down. I was in bed. I couldn't get out of bed to go and train my PT clients. And I just said to myself, enough is enough. Like, you haven't worked your ass off to have this life. And I kept dreaming of the day that I could eat out at any restaurant I wanted, any cafe I wanted to. And so I went and got another job in a coffee shop, a drive-through coffee shop, and I flippin' loved it. I worked with teenagers, and I worked on the headphone set. I got to meet people. It reignited my spirit, and it gave me some extra income that allowed me to survive. And then I started to find my voice. I started to find my feet again, and I met my incredible partner. And I met him at this wedding. I wasn't going to get on the plane, but I thought, you know what? My life is that shit right now that I deserve a fun weekend away with my friends. And so I went on the plane down to Newcastle, and one of my friends invited her brother along to this wedding because she couldn't have her husband there. and that was Tom. And that's where we met, at this wedding. And yeah, it was just amazing. And it was so good that he actually wasn't working on the Gold Coast at the time. So it gave me space. It gave me my independence. And we just kind of courted over the phone, and we saw each other, I don't know, once a month. It was just exactly the perfect relationship. And it's been pretty good ever since. He still works away, which is amazing. So I still get that independence. I love my own space. I am a bit of a homebody. I love being at home. I love being on my own. I love solitude. I love my own company, all that. But when I need to whip it on, I can whip it on. I love to speak on stages. I love to inspire people. And I hope that through my story, through my journey, you get to know me a little bit more and what I've been through and where I've come from. And you can see that I'm just like you. I'm no different. I'm not special. I've just been in this for 7 years. Now, when I started in Juice Plus, I was a PT at the time, and it was a 30-second conversation, guys, that totally transformed my future, my family's health, my journey, my passion, my purpose. Fee Taylor just met me at this event that we were doing for the city council, and all she could see was that I was exhausted zombie mum, and she just said, "You need to look at this stuff. You need to go and check this out. I think it's going to give you more energy just to get through your day." That was it, guys. That was all I needed. I just wanted more energy, and I was willing to do anything natural so that I could still breastfeed. That was going to do that. So I jumped online, did my research. I emailed the company and said, I want to know more information about this. And guess who they sent me to have a coffee with? Good old Linda Even, gives me a call and says, let's meet for a smoothie at the Smoothie Shack. And we just hit it off. And she wanted me in the business then and there. I totally got it. It all made sense because I saw what my clients were eating on a daily and weekly basis, and they were not getting a variety and a rainbow of fruits and veggies in every single day. That it was carb loaded, it was dairy loaded, it was all the wrong things, too much sugar, too much alcohol, too much soft drink. And when I saw Juice Plus, I was just like, oh my God, this is the final piece of the puzzle. This is what I didn't know I was searching for it, but this is exactly what I needed. So I said no to the business because if I put my name to something, I'm going to believe in it 100%. I have integrity and I have a trusted position. So day 12, when the energy hit me, I rang Linda and said, I'm in. Like, what do I have to do? And we had an event. I had a couple of events, actually. I had one after one of my boot camps, and I continued that pretty much on a weekly basis, just a really 15-minute express event after some of my boot camps where we served the shakes. I had an event at my place, and I rocked up to every single event. I remember Linda and I holding events in the beginning, and they were all around green smoothies. It wasn't about the business or anything like that. It was green smoothie nights. And I remember one night where we hadn't had anyone respond. No one was coming. And Linda said, don't worry about it, just stay at home tonight. And I remember saying to her, damn it, I'm so upset. Like, I really wanted to come out. I wanted to inspire someone tonight. And she was like, me too. And here we are in our pajamas. No one wants to come out. So we took the night off. But every night after that, we just kept rocking up. Whether there was people there or not, we did a training. If there was one person there, we didn't care. They got our full attention, our full love, and it was amazing. And that's where we started. And all I wanted to achieve was a 5-1 every month. 5 new customers and 1 new team. And I pretty much hit it every single month. I think there was probably only 1 month in there out of the 12-month period where I didn't hit that. Okay. So in the beginning, obviously some months you get more. You might get 10 customers and 3 team. And other months you might miss the team, but you get like 10 customers. But I was always bringing people on. It was so consistent. And the only time I ever put the business down was when my father-in-law was terminally ill. And at the time, we were actually induced because he was on his deathbed when we were pregnant with Summer, and we got induced right on 40 weeks so that he could meet her, because he was on the top floor at John Flynn, and where everyone knows when you get to that top floor, you're not coming out. You know, he had cancer, And so we took her along to meet him. It was amazing. But we ended up getting another 6 months with him, and that was unbelievable. And the last time I saw him was on my birthday, the 20th of September. He passed away that night. And my son was born on the 20th of September, which is my birthday, which I think is really cool. And it's an amazing connection that we've got with his grandfather, which is really, really cool. So moving forward, and God, I've been blabbing on and a lot about my story, but hopefully this is all relevant and you're getting a lot out of this, because I don't share this enough, but I want to share that I did put the business down. There was no way in that month when he was passing away, when you're watching someone die in front of you, it's so hard to be inspiring. It is so hard to turn up every day in your Juice Plus business. And I want you guys to know that if you're going through that, it's okay to put it down. It's okay to take time out. Okay, you need to reflect. You need to put family first, guys. Always family first, before business. Friends before business, family before business, always. That was the only time I ever put the business down. And after that, I missed my fast tracks as well. So I missed my fast track to SC. I had to restart my business, but I didn't care because I saw the longevity. And here's the thing. Right after that, when he passed away, I got on a flight to America with Linda and I was only 8 weeks in the business, and I went to my first USA conference. And the reason why I went was because Linda painted the vision for me and showed me what was possible. But more than that, she gave me hope. She gave me hope that I could have a better future. And she saw something in me that I didn't see. She didn't see the doubt. She didn't see the bullshit stories I was telling myself. She didn't see that negative self-talk that I had around the business. I flippin' loved the product. And I think I got 20 customers in my first 2 weeks. I loved it. I know I spoke to everyone about it, and I still do. But Linda saw something in me, and she just didn't buy into my excuses. I didn't have any money, guys. Like, I had to borrow off Tom to buy the product. I had to borrow off him to buy my flights. Our incredible upline, Jeff Roberti, Linda went to Jeff and said, Jeff, oh my God, like, I've got this Aussie chick coming over. We're so strapped. She's pouring everything into this. Could you just help us with accommodation? And he paid. He didn't even know me. And he paid for my accommodation. And I will never, ever forget that. And I have since been able to pay that forward for so many team, and that's the gift that you get when you start earning from this business, So I went over there and I sat next to the hearing impaired people. And I remember saying to Linda, oh my God, like, if they can do it, I can do this. I saw a lady get up that had fled. She hit NMD, and you could do your NMD speech over there. When you hit NMD, you get to do your speech. And I heard this woman get up who fled her country with the clothes on her back. That was it. 3 years prior. And now here she is giving her NMD speech. She didn't have any money. All she had was the clothes on her back. And I thought, oh my goodness, like, that's incredible. I saw ladies that had 7 kids, 10 kids, that had homeschooled every single child that had reached NMD. And I thought, shit, if they can do it, I can do it. I only had 1 child at this stage. I thought, I don't have any excuse, So when I got back, NMD was the first 3 letters that went on my vision board. I knew without a doubt that I was going to be an NMD. And I wasn't even an SC yet, guys. I had no idea how I was going to get to NMD, but I knew it was going to happen. I didn't care if it was going to take 10 years, 2 years, 5 years. It didn't matter. I knew that it was going to happen, and I got laser focused. I started contacting, I started reconnecting with people I went to school with when I was in kindergarten from the first town that, we pretty much moved to where I started school. Then I went to the next town. I started reconnecting with friends from that town. I started going back to old work colleagues, customers that used to come into my workplaces. I started looking for these people on social media and reconnecting and building the relationship again. I also, when I started to earn a little bit, I started to sponsor people that I knew that were flat strapped, and I mean like people who were on food stamps, basically, that could not even afford to feed themselves. I would sponsor them in the hope that they would see the vision from the experience that they got from the product. Now, it didn't always pay off, and I don't recommend it, guys. But for some people, it paid off, and I've been able to transform those people's lives, because then they came into the business and they went on to help hundreds of people, you know, in their business. I started doing markets. Every Saturday, I'd rock up to the markets here in Burleigh, and that's where I met a lady whose sister took Juice Plus in Sydney. She'd heard of it. She became one of my best customers. She became a team member. She introduced me to a personal trainer here on the Gold Coast who became my first NMD in the business, just from simply rocking up to a market every week. I started showing up to all the events. I didn't miss one. I took Summer on my hip, you know, to every single event, because that was not just growth for me, it was growth for her. She was being surrounded by these positive, inspiring people. She got to play with their kids. She's grown up with other Juice Plus kids, you know. It's amazing, this community. It's not just for us, it's for the generations coming through. And I've built the most amazing friendships with people in this business. And this business is not about the money. It's not about the income. It's about the flipping impact that we get to make. So from there, I just got hungry. My why changed all the time. So if you're worried about your why, I didn't have one for 18 months. Everyone kept saying, you got to have a why that makes you cry, you know. I didn't have one for 18 months. I had no idea what it was, because Tom was earning good money. It wasn't the money that would light me up chasing money. I knew I wanted to make an impact, but I didn't know how. And it wasn't until I went to my daughter's Special Persons Day that I saw the other kids in the playground bawling their eyes out because their mums and dads couldn't be there. Their little faces were peering through the fence, through the gate, hoping that the next face that they saw was their mum or their dad. Oh, I get emotional every time with this, because I don't ever want my daughter or my son to feel alone. I don't ever want them to feel like mum or dad has never been there for them. And that was such a defining moment for me. And it wasn't even my child that was missing out. It was other kids. I felt so sorry for them. And I felt sorry for the parents that they had no choice. They had to go to work and couldn't be there to support their kids at this Special Persons Day. And I made the promise to Summer. I took her aside and I said, darling, this will never be you. You will never be crying because your mum or your dad is not there. And every single year I've made that Special Persons Day. Every single year I've made the school carnivals, the sports carnivals, the sports days. And I'm the mum that's rocking up, and other mums are saying, Kristine, can you take photos of my kid? Can you take photos and shoot them through? Can you take a video of such and such running her race? It friggin' makes me sad, guys. But it also drives me. It's my fuel, because parents are in pain and they don't know that they've got a choice. They don't know that there's other options out there until we get to know them, until we get to share this amazing gift with them. And that's what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about giving parents the gift that Fee gave me. She showed me that there was something else. You know, Linda held my hand and showed me what was possible. She planted hope for me. And that's what I want to do for you tonight. I want to give you that hope. I want to give you that fire in that belly. I want you to know that there is no other opportunity like this opportunity. Yes, it takes years to build. Yes, it takes hard work. But you get to choose your heart in this life. You know what's harder for me? Going to work for someone that I don't give a shit about, you know, putting my dreams on a shelf for a pay packet, and having to miss out on watching my kids have these amazing magic moments, and then me texting another mum to say, hey, can you get some footage of my daughter when she runs her race today? That's hard. I don't want that hard. And I don't want that for my kids either. So I really feel that this profession makes us better parents. It does. It makes us better people. If you just stick it out, guys, you will get the growth. You will get the lessons. You will get what you need from life, from this business, from this profession. I have no doubt in that. I have no doubt. And you've just got to stick it out. It is going to get hard. You are going to butt your head against that brick wall on more than one occasion. You are going to want to give up. But here's the thing, and Emma Snedden said this so well when she came to Australia to game plan. She said, do you want to be that parent that in 10 years' time turns to their kids and says, you know what? We could have had it all, but mummy gave up. Mummy decided to throw in the towel. I'm asking you that question, guys. Do you want to be that parent? Do you want to be that person that says that to their kid? Or do you want to say that to your partner? I know that I don't. And I feel like in this profession, it allows us to follow our dreams. And that, as a parent, is one of our only goals, is to pursue our dreams so that it gives our kids permission to pursue theirs. I don't want to see my kids in jobs like I did, that they hated, that they dreaded, that was soul destroying. I want to see them pursue their passions. And I don't want them to live in a world where they're worrying about money and they're stressed about money. I want to set them up with great, savvy financial skills so that they can take time off after school if they want to, so they can travel, so they don't have the pressure of quit, get a job, take anything just to make ends meet. And I feel like this profession allows us to give that to that next generation. And I'm just so grateful. If I didn't earn any money from this business, from this profession, guys, I would still do it, because the growth that I get as a person, the mentoring I get from the most incredible thought-provoking leaders around the world, the contribution that I get to give, and the difference that I get to make in other people's lives, it makes me feel fulfilled. And it's got nothing to do with the money. It's got everything to do with the emotional revenue that I receive from an incredible business like this. Now, that doesn't mean I don't love the money. I do, because it gives me choices. Now, in about 3 weeks' time, I'm uprooting our family, and we're moving to Albury for the next year or so I can go and support my parents, who were there for every single sporting event. They drove me places growing up. They had my back. They bought me my first car. I remember living in Canberra once and locking my car in one of those lockable tower car parks, and I had to get home for my friend's 21st. I couldn't get my car out until Monday. You know what my dad did? My dad drove 2 hours from Cootamundra in the middle of the night to come and pick me up, and he drove me home so the next day I could go to one of my best friend's 21st. So now I get to uproot my family and go and be there for my dad while he's battling his biggest challenge in the world. That's what this business allows us to do. That's what this profession gives us. You know how wealthy you are when you can pick the family up and move them with no qualms. You know how wealthy you are when you can jump on an aeroplane to be there for your parents or for your family members, or if you have to support them through health crisis. That's what this profession gives us. So if you're umming and ahhing about whether you're in, you're out, you're being wishy-washy, you're dipping the toe in, you're treating it as a hobby, that's okay if that's all you want this to be. But if you want more out of life, if you know you're capable of more, then go all in. Don't hold back, guys, because there's going to come a point in time where your family needs you, where your mum, your dad, your sibling needs you, your kids need you. And you want to be there for them. You don't want to have restraints on you when people that you love and care about need you. So see the gift in this, please. So that's enough about that. I hope this has been helpful. I don't know. I want to move on to Rob and Fraser's event on the weekend. It was incredible. It was next level. Fraser Brooks and Rob Sperry, if you don't follow them, they are just the most amazing human beings. And Fraser was so vulnerable and so raw and so real. And I just can't thank them enough. And Rob Sperry's story about how he lost his brother when he was growing up. Oh my God. Like, this is another reason why I do what I do. Was it recorded? We only recorded some bits, not all of it. If you jump on Team Spirit, you can catch a few of the speakers. But what they were talking about was purpose beats perfect. I know in the beginning, I tried to be perfect. I tried to be the expert, guys. I knew everything about the product, and it was actually detrimental to my business. So please don't try and be the expert. Just be the messenger. Okay, people they don't care about the studies and everything like that. They care about how much you care about them. Okay, so, and they want to know what the product's going to do for me. So Andrew Logan got up there and his presentation was incredible. I'm hoping that someone recorded it and put it in Team Spirit. But he basically said and asked us, are we where we want to be in life? And most of us said no. And if not, what's your plan to get there? Now, you heard Joel say in my intro that I've got a 1,000-year plan. I've got to say, guys, that's pretty flippin' amazing. It still blows my mind that I have a 1,000-year plan. And you're probably thinking, you're not going to live to 1,000. I know I'm not going to live to 1,000, but I want my legacy to. I want my memory to. I want to be remembered. How do you want to be remembered? Imagine if you even had a 100-year plan. Like, how do you want to be remembered? What kind of contribution do you want to make to the world? Writing that 1,000-year plan was so flippin' powerful. And I created my mission statement around it. So every day I get to read my life's mission statement. I get to read about the things that I've already accomplished, and I get to read about the things that I've yet to do, that are coming, the abundance, the lives that I'm changing. And that's the gift that I get to give you guys, is to give you that clarity that, well, why are you here? Like, figure it out. You've got to get really crystal clear on what this could be for you and what you want your life to look like. Because so often we get caught up in the day-to-day activities of this business that we forget to live life. We start focusing on what's not working rather than what is working. We forget to celebrate the small stuff. Now, my biggest achievement that I really felt was getting to QNMD. And I still remember the call from Lindy. I just finished doing a 7-minute burpee workout, and this call from Lindy comes in, and Tom's sitting on the lounge, and I'm just like, oh, should I take it? And I'm so puffed. And she's confirmed that I've reached QNMD. I get so emotional about this because the tears just started flooding. I'd worked my ass off to get there, and it was the most challenging in the business to get from SSC to increase my volume to get to QNMD. And I remember just Tom, he was in tears. I was in tears. We were embracing each other. We were celebrating. And I was just like, oh my God. And the pride that I felt from Tom and the love, it was just next level. It was so incredible. And Lindy was celebrating on the phone. It was so amazing. And when I got to NMD, that was so incredible too. But the next one was when I reached 100 Club. Oh my God, it was so stressful. I was about to have Archer. He was due any day. And I remember just going, oh my God, if I don't get this done before Archer comes along, I don't know if I'm going to make it at all. And the team pushed. They pushed so hard to make it happen. And it was down to the wire. 1 minute they were saying it looks like you've got it. The next minute they're saying, no, you haven't. And it was already past 5 p.m. Like, cutoff was finished. And I'm sitting there and I went through every single emotion you could feel that day. And I'm just like, oh my goodness. There was tears, there was celebration, but then it got taken away. And then it was like a roller coaster in this 4-hour period. And then finally the call came through to say, Kristine, you are 100 Club. And I remember getting this gift off fee, and it was all the names of the people that had helped Team TNT reach 100 Club. And I remember just thinking, holy shit, that's 100 communities. That 100 Club was 100 people helping like hundreds, if not thousands of people, changing families' lives, changing households, the health of households all around the world. I was getting paid in 12 different countries, and I was just feeling on top of the world. It was amazing. And it was just amazing. We had the biggest celebration. And I remember having Archer, and then 3 days later rocking up at Game Plan with him, brand new baby. And I think that night we had our 100 Club party. It was insane. It was just I was just on cloud 9. It was so good. So I'm telling you this because we have to celebrate that stuff. You really do. And Fraser is so big about celebrating the small stuff, celebrating the no's, because we get paid for no's. I don't know if you know this, but we actually get paid for no's. We get paid for yeses. But here's the thing. If you give up, you don't just give up on yourself. You're giving up on your kids. You're giving up on your customers. You're giving up on your team. You're giving up on your family, your friends. Because some of your family and friends will say yes to you in a year's time, 5 years' time, 20 years' time. And the minute that you give up, that's it. It's final. So please don't give up. You never know who's going to come around that next corner. And I don't know if you know this, but 96% of people that are 65 and over earn less than $35,000 a year. And 1 in 7 women over 65 are homeless. 1 in 7. So what are you preparing for? What's your plan to retirement? When do you want to retire by? You know, imagine if you could set yourself up, and even if you just earned $50 a week from this profession and you put it away and it compounded, in 20 or 30 years time, guys, you would be set up. But so many of us go for that short-term gratification, that short-term satisfaction, and we don't go for the long-term gratification. We give up too easy because the money that we think we deserve in the beginning is not matching the effort that we're putting in. And so we give up right before that first big paycheck. So don't be that person, please. I couldn't imagine where I would be. So getting back to Fraser and what Rob were teaching us was, I loved what Rob explained when it came to having tiers in your business. There's 3 tiers, okay? And the first tier is the most important, and that's the tier you want to get done first off in the day, which is basically you talk to new people, you get your third-party validation, so getting people in 3-way chats or on 3-way calls or using the tools, the videos, and you're adding people to your lead list, okay? So your own prospects and your team's prospects. And then you need to track it. So how many conversations are you having? How many new people are you adding? You know, and Teamsy is a great tool for that. You know, we got a training on Wednesday if you want to jump on and learn more about it. And then tier 2. So that's the first tier. That's where you should be spending most of your time. And then the second tier, once you've done tier 1, you move on to tier 2, and that's reaching out to your team and nurturing your current leads and your current relationships. But first you have to keep adding people to your funnel so that you've got people every day that you can chat to, okay? And then once you've done tier 2, then you move to tier 3. And tier 3 is attending your team trainings. Like if you've only got an hour on a Monday to put towards your business, I'd much rather you spend that hour making new contacts, reaching out to people, sending links, than jumping on this call. Yeah, it's the 3rd tier. So make sure you're ticking off tier 1 and 2 before you're jumping on calls, before you're doing your personal development, before you're, you know, studying anything about the company. So many people want to know it all, and then they'll go and have the conversations. They want to be the expert. They want to know everything about the product before they go and actually do the work. But do the work first. Start building and adding people to your database. So your tier 1 is the fire, and then tier 2 are the fuel for the fire. Then they started to talk about, Charlotte Venter got up. She's from a different company. She said, what we are capable of is amazing, but what we actually do accomplish is disappointing. So we are underperforming in all aspects of our life. We don't realize how amazing we can be if we just stepped up, if we stopped playing small, if we just went after what we really wanted. She talked about how 8 people a day kill themselves in Australia. People are in pain. They are suffering so badly that we're losing 8 people a day. They would rather check out than continue on. And that just makes me so sad, because we have an amazing vehicle that we could help literally save people's lives and get them out of some situations. Fraser, as you know, loves algorithms. He LEAD, lead. So L stands for leap. And it helps you make the leap from what he calls loser land to success land. And in between those two things, this is what happens. So we all start off on loser land. We take a step towards success land. We start reaching out to people. We start connecting with people. But then someone says to us, you're crazy for doing that. You're an idiot for being involved in that. And we go, okay, yeah, you're right. So we go back and join on loser land. Then we take another step. We get our first customer. We're like, yep, we take another step. Then someone says something about the product and we're like, oh yeah, it is pretty crap, isn't it? They take away our belief in the product. So we go back to loser land. Then we go, oh, we're going to go do it again. We take that third step. We get a little bit closer. We might get our first teamie. But then maybe they leave or they tell us that, you know, it's crap or whatever. And we go back to loser land. But there comes a point, guys, on that bridge to success land where you've come too far. You've come too far in growth and income and team and customers that you only want to go forward. Okay, you don't want to quit because it's kind of like the golden handshake. Yeah, it's the golden handcuffs. You're earning enough to stay in the game and you've got enough skin in the game to go on to success land. So here's what Fraser says gets you to success land. 1, you have to use the product every day. Every day, turn up and use the product. 2 is you must go to a monthly event. Now, we've got weekly online events. We've got the Super Saturday once a month. So it's not hard to rock up to an event once a week or once a month. 3, he said you have to speak to your upline every single day. Every single day, guys. Now, I've got team who take a screenshot of their Teamsy and they shoot it through to me every day so I can see how many people they're adding, how many conversations they're having, the follow-ups that they're doing, you know. So it doesn't have to be ringing your upline every day, but you need to be checking in because if we don't hear from you, we don't know if you're doing anything. You need to bring on at least 1 customer every month. You need to bring on at least 1 team member every month. And you need to be going to a big event, like a big conference to hear your company CEOs speak and learn more about the business, learn more about the company, learn more about the products. And he said, if you do that, you will get to success land. That's his bare minimum. So I love that. The E stands for expectations. You know, it's all about law of advancements. And, you know, he calls it the pit. So positive people, impacting others and transforming you. So making sure that you're constantly working on yourself and other people. The A is for action. So for every hour of personal development, you match it with an hour of activity. I'd flip that around. Every hour of activity, match it with an hour of personal development. When you're exercising, do your self-development. When you're driving in the car, do your self-development and then match it 1 for 1. And then D is for duplication. So, you know, letting people know that, you know, most people write a list in their first 48 hours of their top 20 people. Are you an average person or are you above average person? Are you going to be one of the ones that does it in 48 hours? And if someone is above average, they'll get it to you quicker than that. So set some expectations, set that duplication. And he spoke about the hand analogy, the hand leadership. So the thumb stands for always be positive. Yeah, mate, always be positive. That's what he said. 2, pointer finger, is direct people. So what are their next steps? Okay, so always be positive, then direct people. This is your leadership model. 3 is attitude. So how are you showing up? You know, and he used the bird quite a bit. You know, if people are not supporting you, get rid of them. You know, if they're toxic people, get rid of them. 4, the ring finger, is your commitment. It's your commitment to your business. It's your love. It's loving on people, loving on yourself, loving on the profession. And the pinky is the details. So details with people, you know, that's the how-to and everything like that. So that's your leadership model. If you want to remember how to be a great leader, it's those 5 things, which is awesome. There was only one other thing I think that I wanted to cover, and that was social media recruiting. I'm just going to touch on this really quickly. But he basically said, number one is you need to collect friends daily. So always be growing your audience. And they sort of said, start looking for influencers that have the audience that you want. So let's say that your target market is mums. Go and look for influencers that already have that target market. Okay. Grow your business obviously through groups, through referrals. You can do a hashtag strategy, and you can use the Ninja search tool. You want to be finding people, adding them, and messaging them. Okay, so that's how you collect friends. Make sure you laud them. So location, ask them where they live, occupation, what do they do for recreation, dreams, family, whatever you want to do. Get to know them. 2 is collect decisions. So don't send a link until someone has actually said that they will watch it. Don't send a link until you've got the appointment of when they're going to watch it. Number 3 is collect commission. So track your numbers. You got to know your conversion rate. You got to know how many people are you sending links to? How many people are you adding? How many are saying yes? How many people are accepting your friend request? How many people are you converting from, a prospect after they watch a link into a customer or into a team member? These are all important stats, guys, because we want to be able to increase that conversion rate. So there's so much more I wanted to share from that, but we're running out of time. But I really want to end on this, and that is that our only job in this profession is to be the messenger and to believe in people, to create that hope, to create that vision, to know them enough to be able to relate this as a solution to their problem. And if you go out there and you come from that heart space and you have good intentions and you focus on the impact rather than the income, then you will go all the way with this business. And I'm holding the light for you guys. I really am, until you're ready to step into it and hold it yourself. That's what Linda did for me. And you will know when you're ready. You will know when it's time to go. And when you're ready to go all in. Get all excuses off the table and just go all in. Please don't use your kids as an excuse, or your husband or anything. Get them in on the contract. Get them in on the decision and on the goals and the dreams. Get them involved, guys. Put a contract in place that, that between these hours, mummy's not on the phone. Between these hours, though, mum needs to do business. Between this hour or 2, that's when it's one-on-one time with your partner. Get really strict and set those boundaries so that it's clear, so that you are present. So you're present for your partner, that you're present for your kids, that you're present for yourself. Make sure you're filling your cup up in your relationships, in your parenthood, in your self-development, in your self-nurture, self-care, self-love, whatever you want to call it. You need to be filling your cup up in all those areas, in your nutrition, in your fitness, so that you can be the better version of yourself. Please don't put everyone else first. When you're in an airplane, whose mask do you have to put on first? It's not your kids, it's yours. In order for you to be the best parent, the best wife, the best husband, the best version of yourself, you have to put yourself first. Okay, otherwise it falls apart. Okay, the household falls apart when mum's in a funk. The household falls apart when mum's eating badly. The household falls apart when I'm vibrating and playing at a lower level, when I'm being negative, when I'm stuck in my own way. So play above the line. Take some self-responsibility. Never blame, shame, or justify, and just keep showing up and bloody go out there and back yourselves. Because if I can do it, you can do it. I think that's it, Joel.
Wow. I'm curious who he feels more believed in right now. That was amazing, Kristine. You electrifying wasn't the word that I should have used at the beginning. Now I'm going to edit that out though. So, Kristine, the question I'm going to ask, so you're cheating. So, but if you had a billboard that the entire planet could see, what would your message be to the world?
Yeah, this is a tough one because there's so many things I want to put on billboards.
We can have.
Oh man, I think it would have. Yeah, I think it would have to be something along the lines of if all our dreams can come true. Well, all our dreams can come true if we have the courage to pursue them. I'm so big on people following their heart, following their dreams, not putting it on the shelf. Like, you know, pursue that passion so that we allow our kids to do the same. So I think it would have to be that, Joel.
Amazing. Guys, share this out. I'll put it up on the YouTube channel. It's in the Mesh page. Like, it's easy to find. Share this out with someone who needs inspiration, who needs someone to believe in them, who can see what this business can do. Amazing. Thank you, guys. Good night.